Hey, Steve Saretsky here. I want to put together a quick video on basically the Vancouver condo market, some of the stats that I've gone through very thoroughly, what I'm seeing feet on the ground, and then a quick, I want to touch on some of the assignments and some of the loopholes that I'm seeing there right now. So, I've talked about this before, there's never been a bigger divergence between what the detached market is doing over here and what the condo market is doing over here. So you have the detached market, which is corrected 20% as of right now, roughly. And there's really no signs of that slowing down. So I think I would call it, you have a full-blown correction happening in the detached market. I mean, 20% in like 6 to 8 months is very substantial. And then you have the condo market, which is still going very hot. We're seeing a lot of multiple offers. I haven't seen any price movements. Originally, I'd called Vancouver for about a 5%. It looks to have somewhat rebounded recently with some of these multiple offers. Multiple offers that are happening. And as we kick into the spring market with the inventory still being at record low levels, there's a few things to definitely keep an eye on. I mean, just looking at it into January, as I said, there was a lot of multiple offers. Just last week I was involved in 3, just strictly from the buyer's position. And anything that low entry level stuff is going into multiple offers. So last week I was one out in East Van. I was priced at $299. Ended up going for $40,000 or so over asking price, and I think it was a record in the building. I think it was definitely, in my opinion, too high. But these people are willing to pay. The general consensus out there is that thanks to Christy Clark's loan, is that why rent when I can go? I'll put down 5%. Christy Clark will put down the other 5%, and I'll basically pay roughly the same for my mortgage or whatever. I'll start building my equity. Not saying that I agree with it, but that's the general consensus right now. The condo market, again, entry level 300 to 500,000 is booming. It's just not enough inventory at that price range. It's all first-time buyers. A lot of them are using the first-time buyer loan program, which I've talked about before. I said that could stimulate the demand. It certainly looks like it has. You can't exactly put a finger on it. But it's crazy out there. I mean, my gosh, some of these multiple offers that are happening, 4, 5, 6 offers on these, these little $300,000 condos. It's basically get in at all costs, which is it's very fascinating to watch. Like I said, you have the detached market that's like in a full-on correction, and you have the condo market where it's still almost a panic. It's just get in. And looking at the numbers in January for Vancouver West condos, 25 of the roughly over 200 sales, 25% of them sold over asking. So that's generally in multiple offer. So 25% of condos sold over asking price. Compared to January 2016, that number was 38%. So there's obviously been a bit of a correction there. I mean, not necessarily a correction, but a slowdown. But still, not much to really notice anything. And just to put that into context, it'll be interesting to see where we go. Last April 2016 and May 2016, that was the heydays for multiple offers. 56% of condos sold over asking price. So 56%. So will we get to that? Right now in January we're at 25%. Last year we were at 38%. I don't think it's going to get to that point, but definitely until we start to get some more inventory on, I don't expect any price movements. There's just a lot of demand at that entry level. It's all first time buyers. You got a few investors in there as well, still kicking around. So it's very, very fascinating to watch. Yeah, and it's something that I've been tracking. I've been tracking the absorption rate, which is a very strong indicator of what the market's doing and demand levels. So generally speaking, an absorption rate above 75% means there's an upward pressure on prices. Prices are expected to increase. If it's 50% or below, that's generally a sign that the market's correcting. There's a downward pressure on prices. So the absorption rate is quantified by sales divided by new listings. So how many sales are happening versus how many new listings are coming on. In January the absorption rate for Vancouver condos was around 40%. So that should indicate that the prices are going to come down correct. It could be a bit of a seasonal thing, so it's definitely something that I'll be keeping an eye on in February and March to really get a good idea of the absorption rates, because generally, I mean, that's a strong indicator of what the market's doing. I think that the inventory is starting to come up a little bit, obviously with sales falling 30% year over year, but again, the inventory is still too low. There's still too much demand. There's still too much easy credit readily available for these first-time buyers to get in, to compete in multiple offers. And anytime you get multiple offers, that tends to push prices up. So we're definitely not seeing any price correction, despite the winter months that we're slowing down. Brings me to another quick thing I want to talk about. Again, I was in a multiple offer situation on a assignment last week for building that completes in 2018. Assignments are very complicated. There's a lot of work involved. Things can get a little sticky. You really got to do your homework. So generally, there's almost never competition. But last week I think there's 4 or 5 offers on this assignment, and I mean, just talking to some of the guys in the office, I know there was an article that just came out in the Business in Vancouver talking about it. Is there's no 15% foreign buyers tax on assignment condos. So I mean, what you can do is a lot of these. I think there's still a lot of speculators in that market. Is basically you can go in and buy this, and then you can go and assign it, which is what we're seeing. You can go and assign it, and then flip it again. And not pay any taxes on that, right? So it's very interesting to watch. I think that people are saying that the money is now flowing into pre-sale condos, assignments, because there's still a chance to flip it and not, because you don't pay that 15% until you actually go to close, which can be a year, 2 years, 2.5 years out. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. It's very interesting to watch. I mean, obviously we have record builds. People are talking about, it's an interesting analogy. I don't know, who knows if that's going to happen, but it's certainly happened in the past. As an assignment, you usually generally put down installments of 5 or 10%, and people are saying, if a foreign buyer is buying the condo, they put down the 10% or whatever, and if they can't assign it, they're overseas. They'll just walk away from the 10%, and then the developer can be left, if the property, of course, goes down in value. Then they're just left, the developer's left holding 10%. Good luck trying to track them down for a lawsuit. So that's something to interesting to watch. Like I said, we've had record housing starts. So, but that's what's going on in the condo market. Still very active, still very hot. Again, probably a bit of likelihood to do with that, with the first-time buyer loan program. Again, I'm seeing mostly all first-time buyers in the condo market, and that'll be definitely something to keep a close eye on, as those two markets, the detached and the condo, very, very much diverge. You have the townhouse in the middle, which really doesn't know what to do. I think that follows the high end, because we're seeing a bit of a correction in the townhouse market. Things are definitely slowing down there. All right. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, just fire away. Put them in the comments below. All right.